Let's write down our scheme. Please. Take one. Awesome. We're going to write. And this is very important. I want to hear it from you. I really like how it sounds. Mastermind Alliance. As I told you a few minutes ago, I cannot do this alone. I need your help. So that is the Mastermind Alliance about. What is a Mastermind Alliance? Okay, let's explain it. The Mastermind Alliance is the one that represents a lot of people, a group of people needs, a group of people desire, a group of people purpose. Napoleon tells us, I never met a man who is successful or rich that is not working with blood, sweat and tears with another people. There are not people, zero, in this world who make their richness alone. We cannot. We need people, we need mates, we need acquaintances. We need a mastermind alliance. We need allies. Let's repeat this. We need allies. We need allies. We need people that share our values, that share our burning desire, that share our purpose. Mastermind Alliance is the alliance by which the people are gathered in harmony of spirit, minds, soul, and bodies in order to make this desire become real. That's the Mastermind Alliance. And let's remark this important word, harmony. Because at the time we work in harmony with these people, we're only going to success. These people have the same interest as me, and I have the same interest as them. And we set this plan that we received through the infinite intelligence and the creative imagination, and we share with them, hey, what do you think about this plan? Because you have my interest, you have sort of my desire, we have the same hobbies, we have the same tasks. Would you like going with me? Would you like gathering? Would you like working together in order to get these goals? I have this plan. Would you like to look at them? That's a mastermind alliance. And it doesn't have to be 100 people. It could be later, of course. But if there's only one people who share our desire and is so sure like us that we will take it, that we will achieve it, then we are in the way to creating our mastermind alliance. Work in harmony with these people. So, let's repeat. I will find my mastermind alliance. I will find my mastermind alliance. Let's go one more time. But, yeah, please, louder. I will find my mastermind alliance. Work with harmony, blood, sweat, and tears for the sake of humanity and our sake with the people that are connected with me. And we share the plan. And we see ourselves twice a week, minimum. And we are being guided by the QCS formula. What is the QCS formula? It's the formula that we're going to make in order to offer our services. The first one is quantity. We're going to offer a really nice quantity of our services. We're going to offer these people, this group of people, quantity, a volume, a greater volume of our services. Second place, we're going to offer quality. This product, this service must be high quality. We must do it as the best we can, with all their pieces well said. We have to imagine how the service will work the best way so that it can satisfy our clients. And the third one, and most important, if the two of before are lacking, this one will rescue us from failure, and that is spirits. This means what follows. Let's imagine I'm a professor and I go to the class. Even though I don't have the best quality, the best quantity, if I have a good spirit, if I have enthusiasm, if I have emotion, if I take my chances, if I make the people agitate, if I create this flame inside people, if I have that attitude, I will get. Anyways, no matter what, I will get, and I will offer the people the best I can. So spirit is so important as for offering our services. And what about the people that we want to associate with? We like to search for people that are loyal, right? For good people, people that we know we can trust, worth trusting people. How do we know this? We might like to know some of the leaders' qualities. One of the first and most important leaders' qualities is that a leader is loyal. So, in order to gather with these people, we have to ensure ourselves that this people is loyal, that we can trust them, right? In second place, we have to have decision. The people that we are associating with have to have decision, have to take their chances, have to be decided people, people that go through everything without hesitating. That's the second quality of a leader, of the so many that we have. The third one would be self-control. The people that lead have self-control in them. Therefore, if there's a tornado, if there's rain, if there's some disaster coming, they will keep their peace. They will keep relaxed, and they will keep cold-blooded. Those are some of the quality of the leaders. And in the moment that we start to study people, or we get a hold of human relation, we're going to know how to approach these people and start to gather the people to our cause. That's the Mastermind Alliance. And briefly, Mastermind Alliance, we're going to gather people, set a plan, share this passion, this burning desire, having this in mind about QCE, QCS, and also making ourselves leaders and searching for another leaders. So, let's get to our seventh step to being rich. Okay, how are you everybody? Please tell me. Are you having a nice time? Are you discovering new things, brand new things? Awesome. I'm real glad to hear that. So, let's move on to the seventh step. What are we lacking? We're lacking some two super qualities of the rich people. So we're going to write it down. The first one is decision. And the second one is persistence. Persistence. What is decision? Decision is not hesitating. It's taking my chances. There's one quality that tells us Napoleon about rich people. And it's that rich people, the people that are successful, that have a burning desire for the sake of humanity, take decisions fast. Yet, if they have to change this decision, they change it slowly. They take their time to analyze, to get a hold of what will be the consequences after changing this decision. So, rich people take their decision fast. And if they ever have to change them, they take their time. And vice versa. The people that are not quite rich, or that they are lacking some self-confidence, they have not so clear what their plan is, are people that they take decisions really slowly. But they change their decisions really quickly. Therefore, there's not any plan ever. So, how can we explain the power of decision with one historical event? John Hancock and their associates of the independence of the United States. 1776 was one of the most important dates as for the United States of America. But there was one more important date comparing to this one. As we might know, the Americans were being invaded by the British troops back on 1771. These British troops didn't let any chance for Americans to reject or to fight. They were being infected by these troops. But there were three men who were their saviors. One is John Hancock, the other one is General Lee, and the other one is Thomas Jefferson. These three people risked their lives to save and make their nation become free. What these men did, all the citizens, not just citizens, of United States of America were being pursued by the British troops. This group of men decided to create a group in which they will take decisions in order to beat this resistance of the British troops. They were to create a plan to which they will survive this and become a free nation. There were 65 men in this assembly, in this place, dreaming of a free America. As time passed, a lot of threats were received by these men. Threats of the king of the royalty of Britain, which tells something like this: "My dear John Hancock, General Lee, and Thomas Jefferson, we're giving you one more opportunity to retire from your clash. We're not going to take your resistance more. If you don't take your troops away from ours, we're going to keep killing your people." To which John Hancock and associates replied, "My dear royalty king, we are not going to go soft on this one. We're going to fight even though we know the consequences, because we will make a free land." Shall we send this card? Boy, surely that they sent it. They sent it and they got the reply that was obvious from the king. Okay, now let's make the game begin. Therefore, these men started to take decisions by their own in order to save their whole country. Decisions that were made by 56 people. They were risking their lives, thinking, planning, doing a mastermind alliance with the most intelligent, intellectual, experienced, special knowledge people to save their country. But what was the main feature about these men? That they have decision power. They were sure that this nation of them will have to be free. And no matter if there's a soldier, no matter if there were British troops coming into our land, we have to take decision. We have to make plans. We have to make plans in order to this become true. And at the end of the day, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Independence Statement, Independence Declaration, which gave birth to the United States of America. The clash was not easy. The battle was not easy. Some troops died. Some troops stayed alive. But they made it at the end of the day because their decision. They were combined. They were actually sure that they will be the winners and have a free land. So, decision is the enemy of waiting. Decision is the enemy of hesitation. Decision is the enemy of hesitation. The more we hesitate, the less the opportunities we'll have. The more we are decided, the more opportunities we have, and we'll take them. So, are you decided? Are you decided? Yes, of course. Wow, that was very quickly. You blew my mind. That's awesome. So, let's check this. A moment. Decision. Okay, here. Decision. We are decided people. And what is persistence? The sibling of decision. Persistence is going through a road, and even though the conditions are not the best, I won't stop. You won't stop. You won't stop. Even though it rains, even though there's a sandstorm, I won't stop. And the decision and the persistence is a result of the habit. What is a habit? It's a certain action that we take through a period of time. Therefore, if we take an action a lot of time for a period of time, this will turn into a persistence habit, a persistence action, because we're doing it day by day. And persistence, let me check, or let me remember another Napoleon's MCT that is called the success habits, the success laws. He mentioned something about breaking a wall. When I want to break a wall, I have several options. But if this wall is so hard, it has spikes over it, and there's no way of digging a hole, I have only one thing left, and that is persistence. Persistence is TNT. Persistence sweeps and blows everything. The man and the woman who are persistent will reach anything, will reach everything that they like to. Because persistence is so high quality as for being rich. It's needed. We have to take our chance. We have to effort ourselves. And how do we construct persistence? First, with a burning desire, and then by practice. This is willpower. The more I practice persistence, the more results may I get. Persistence, really important. Let's go. My dear architects, my dear constructors, I'm so happy to introduce you our 9th step to being rich. And this is going to be the most important. Are you ready? And now we're going to be seeing the 10th step to being rich, which I must confess is the most useful as for me. I was mind blown. So let's write down. 10th, the most important, is called sex transmutation. I want to ask you a question, my dear architects and constructors. What is sex? Let's start by asking ourselves this question. What is sex? Nice. Sex is being hot, feeling some released excitement, right? What else? Is feeling our body lightened, ignited. That's right. And we want to add something to this. Sex is one of the 3 most powerful human emotions which we were talking about a moment ago. So let's make a reading. The first one is faith, one of the most supreme human emotions. The second one is sex. And out of these 3, sex is the most powerful. So, what is sex used for? Interesting. Okay, nice answer.
sex, its first use is to give birth to the human beings. Second one, nice, it's used as the most powerful healing tool. And third one, you know what it is? The first might be same. The sex makes the genius. I have to confess that I was really ashamed of myself after reading these lines. I was mindful, as I told you, and I really wanted to think more deep about this. What tells us Napoleon about sex? What sex means to make a genius? As it turns out, transmutation was a brand new word for me, and I assume it will be for you as well, dear architects, constructors. Sex is the most powerful human emotion. Then, what is transmutation? Transmutation is to transform a certain energy into something else. Transmutation is to change the state of something into something else. And therefore, sex transmutation must be changing the sex common energy into something else. Let's ask ourselves another question. How do we express sex as the human beings? By which means? What do we do? What do we feel in order to express this feeling? Let's go. Nice. Through body pleasure. So, this is so common. We express sex, we already know how to. Human, biological, corporal, physical means. And that's the most common way to express sex. Napoleon tells us that the most disgraceful tragedy of our times, you know what it is the majority of the people losing their sexual energy just as like they were using anything else. Especially youthness uses sex without even noticing. They throw away their sexual energy just to satisfy what we're talking about, the body pleasure. And how can we confirm this? As sex is one of the most powerful energies, that means that if I waste it in mere human, biological, corporal, and physical means or purposes, this will lend me with zero energy. And that's our time's tragedy. Therefore, we cannot transform any energy since we don't have anyone. Because, as Napoleon tells us, really interesting, he introduced us the mind amplifiers. And these are 10. Let's go from the most powerful to the less powerful. These amplifiers, these emotions, makes our brain work even faster than they would do on a daily basis. So, the first one is sex. The second one is love. The third one is faith. The fourth one is music. The fifth one is friendship. The sixth one is shared pain. The seventh one is a mastermind alliance between people. The eighth one is self-suggestion. And the ninth one, which is negative, narcotics, and then alcohol at the end. If we use sex, or music, or shared pain, or even narcotics, not a positive means at all, to stimulate ourselves, we'll have more clearness as for our brain and mind thoughts, control. These are to stimulate our functions as for brain, mind. Therefore, we'll think more clearly, rapidly, faster, stronger. And that's what we would like to use sex for, as well as the other ones. We're going to think about this. Sex, as we are sure, let's follow this line, is one of the most supreme human emotions. Therefore, it can give us, supplies us a so meaningful power that we will be able to have energy, over energy to create. How can we see if a certain group of people is carrying this sex transmutation feeling and is a sexualized person? Is what Napoleon called personal magnetism. And this reflects on 5 points of our person and individual characteristics. The first one, a highly sexualized individual carries with him a really soft and melodic voice tone. Voice tone. Already. The second one, a highly sexualized individual carries with him a really strong handshake. The third one, an individual that is highly sexualized and who get a hold of this sex transmutation has right feelings. Therefore, we might think that sitting right beside him would be a nice experience. Good energies, good vibes. You feel that? Awesome. The fourth one, and it has to be with the body. The highly sexualized individuals have fluent moves, beautiful moves, awesome, flawless moves as for the body. And fifth, last but not least, these people who have a hold of this ability to carry sex to another level have really nice look. They are tidy, they are comfortable, they look good, they look good. Why did Napoleon tell us all this? Because we want to arrive to a conclusion about this sex transmutation. Okay, Juan, Napoleon, you got me. I want to buy this. How can I do this to lead this energy instead of mere body pleasures to something even bigger, something better for humanity? How can I do this? In the moment that I am horny, hot, I'm going through this sex experience, sexual experience as for the body. In that moment in which I could not have a hold of my ability to control this, I will do something else. I will make exercise. In this moment I'm getting really horny, I want to express this by body, I will ride my climb. It shows how we are using this energy, this powerful energy, for even better purposes for humanity. In time I'm getting horny. This desire is bigger and bigger. I cannot resist this anymore. Dad, I love you. I want to tell you I love you. I will kiss you on the cheek. I want to thank you for all these years, all this support that you've been willing to us. Also, Mom, I love you. Let's give a hug. Nice words, kind words to our dear people. And that's all. That's how can we literally express this sex emotion in another way that is not the body pleasure. And what happens with the people nowadays, if they ever know how to use this tool, the most powerful tool, they learn to use it a lot from the 50 years old decade. That's why the young people, the majority of the young people, don't ever reach success before these stages past our prime. In the words of Napoleon, sex transmutation could give us the following perspective. Imagine we are on a plane. How do we see the scenery from this height? Nice, really clear. We are testifying this landscape from a privileged position. That's the power of sex transmutation. We can let our ideas flow better. We can have more creative imagination. We can have more love towards others. That's the power of sex.
And if we know, the more we practice to find this, the more we get horny and we reject our body pleasure for the sake of our loved ones, our plans. And further on, we're going to become genius at the end of the day. Because what is a genius for you, dear architects, constructors?
Boy, I have to shave myself. Okay, nice. This genius, we would think to be a long-bearded man, which is in the cage, which is asking for some mind-blowing food, who is wandering around with some sort of umbrella like this, right? It could be, but far away from that. A genius is the one who learned how to transform this sexual energy into something else. And what are we left is what follows. We have the two most powerful human emotions, right? Faith and sex. Sex, the most powerful of them. We're lacking one. And do you know what that is? Of course. What is? Okay, let's say it all together. 1, 2, 3. Love is in the air. Love. Nice. Love is the third of the human most powerful emotions. And let's write down our statement. This statement is so important. This statement saved many lives. This statement, I'm sure it will save your life as well, and you'll like it a lot. So, let's write down this. Love is a state of the mind. Let's go. Love is a state of the mind. Nothing else to say. Love is a state of the mind. What is this? Did you ever hear this? Architects, constructors? I was my mom as well. So, Napoleon tells us what follows. Love is nothing more than a state of the mind. Therefore, we could imagine, right, through all our history as for cinema spectators or life spectators influenced by other people, thoughts, opinions, that love is a physical experience just as it. No. Love is a spiritual experience. This means that I don't have to be with this person, thing, or environment, close, physical, corporal, to feel love. Love is a state of the mind. Therefore, if we want to feel love inside us, this beautiful emotion, which is the second one of the most powerful mind amplifiers, we only have to resemble our love experiences. Do you remember when you were in love back on summer of '79? Long time no see. Yes, you remember it. And what are you feeling right now? Oh, man, I'm refreshed. I'm first as well. That's all. The more we practice, the more we think about this awesome experiences that we've been through with this person, with this dog, with this animal, the more we're carrying this feeling inside us. And the more brain power we will have. So, let's think about our past love experiences, and we'll never forget them. It will be on our hearts. We don't need to be close to this person to feel love. And Napoleon tells us to end this masterpiece as for the step. It talks about the Holy Grail, the triple Holy Grail of the couple. Okay, Napoleon has written this book in 1937. Therefore, it's a bit old in terms of variety, diversity, as for sexual opinions, right? So now we will refer to a man
woman love couple. Please, let's expand this example with any we'd like to. Okay? We have love, sex, and faith. Let's go with love and sex. In the moment a couple reaches the point in which they comprehend what is love, that means I don't have to be right to you to feel this beautiful emotion. They gave a gigantic step as for their relationship. Therefore, they will have the qualities of a couple that is making a deal with the world for their sake and for us, for their wellness. In the moment a couple comprehends not only what is love, what is sex, and applies this transmutation, they are living on a spiritual stage on earth. But in the moment this couple adds to sex, love, comprehension, the romance, you know what happened? A genius was born. And this is the triple holy grail of the couple. So, how could be the perfect couple? A couple that comprehends, understands, get a hold of what is sex, love, and romance, and use it for the sake of humanity and for their sakes. Therefore, being a couple seems a real nice challenge to evolve ourselves and live even happier. That's what impressed me a lot about this. And one more thing, as for men, let's rise up. How many men are in this room right now? Nice. Napoleon talks about men right here, but it will be my honor to ask you, dear ladies, how do you feel about this? And what's the answer behind this as for your feminine situation, biological one? Napoleon tells us that the most powerful force, motivating person as for men is the woman, the love of a woman, the honest love of a woman. Abraham Lincoln, this so important United States historical figure, he was nobody. He was nobody until he reached his 40 years. In this moment, this man met Anne Rutledge, his forever dear love, the only woman who he loved with passion, with honesty, sincerity. When he met Anne Rutledge, he went through this love, faith, sex, romance, stages, experiences. You know what happened? Abraham Lincoln, at his 40 years, was encouraged by this woman, by the love of his only one woman, to be Abraham Lincoln, this historical figure that will be immortal. Everything thanks to the motivation of having a woman in his life. Wow. That's the power of woman in man. And this is not the end, because Abraham Lincoln was one of the tons of examples we can explain by the men who were high sexualized and were influenced by women. Woolworth, Roosevelt, Ford, Charlie Schwab, J.P. Morgan, and so more brilliant men that were influenced by women in order to catch their most important goals.
That's the power of sex. Let's go on with our 11th. Wow, we're getting near. Okay, let's check out this. Are you spending a good time? Nice, very glad to hear that. Okay, let's write down our 11th step to being reached, and that is the subconscious. Subconscious. You might already hear this before, right, my dear ones? Okay, what is subconscious? Subconscious is the bridge between self-suggestion and infinite intelligence. So, let's write down one thing more here. What is infinite intelligence? Infinite intelligence is equal to, say, in creative imagination. Infinite intelligence, as for creative imagination, is the place in which all plans and ideas were born, are being born, and will be born. We don't know why, exactly by which process they come to us. But in the moment we self-suggest ourselves, our very desire, with so much faith, we are supplying positive signals to our subconscious in order to communicate with the infinite intelligence, and therefore receiving ideas. What is the subconscious? It's that place in which all information gathered. So, I walk through the street, I shake their hands, I look at your eyes. These experiences are stored here in my subconscious, and subconscious never sleeps, never takes a rest. So, we might like to not be indulgent with it. We might like to control our subconscious, because the subconscious is the bridge with which will give us contact with this infinite intelligence and give us the best ideas. We have emotions. We have positive and negative emotions. The only way to have an impact to our subconscious is to think with emotion. Therefore, if we think with negative emotions, we'll have certain results, and vice versa. So, positive emotions, sex, faith, love, hope, romance, right? And negative would be greed, hate, sadness, anguish, fear. In the moment we feel these negative emotions, we can transform them immediately into a positive, and that's only practice. That's what tells us Napoleon. This is practice. So that's why I like to make a game out of this. In the moment we think about this with emotion, with hope, with love, with sex, with faith, we are giving signals to our subconscious so that it creates this bridge in order to make these ideas appear. Excuse me? You get an idea? Nice. I can see the light bulb right there. Of course, you'll get an idea very soon, thanks to the subconscious. So, let's practice being positive, thinking with faith, love, sex. Alright? We'll get this idea. And as for the ideas, we're going to move to our almost last stage. So, 12th step to being reached, and that is the brain. The brain, the energy supplier, right? The brain is this. Let's make a play again. The brain is a double power station. So, you know how a radio works? First we have the gigantic tower, which is the transmitter of bytes, because we cannot hear the sounds at first, as for our human capacity to hear. And then We have the radio with its antennas, which receives these vibrations, these vibes, from this gigantic tower transmitter. The brain is the same. So, if I think about something really seriously, with faith, with positive emotions, I will supply these thoughts to a certain people which are in my same frequency. These people are thinking, are having similar ideas to mine, so they will take mine as well. And there will be a moment in which we have so of similar vibrations that will end up engaging us. That's the power of the brain. The more bright of thoughts we have, the more we'll sympathize with those people who are having similar thoughts, just like a radio and a transmitter. So, our remaining question is, which are the four means for which we can get ideas? The first one, from the infinite intelligence. The second one, from my subconscious. The third one, from the brain of another person who sent these thoughts. And the fourth one is from the subconscious of another person. That means we are connected. We are connected. We have similar thoughts, similar emotions. Those people who have the same as us will get into our lives sooner or later. That's interesting. So, that's the brain, and it's connected with the subconscious and the infinite intelligence. Let's go. We'll go on to our already final step. And it's called, we might go real crazy in this one, the sixth sense. And this is no a poetry course whatsoever. The sixth sense, nature. What is nature, dear architects and constructors? Let's start by asking ourselves this question. What is nature, or what main feature does nature have? Awesome. I'm hearing some really nice nature environments, right? Trees growing up. Colors, balance, right? That's great. Harmony also. Wow. I'm really grateful to have you as constructors and architects. So, nature. You told me everything this would unfold into the following question. What are these qualities gathered as one? Which word can we stick on top of these all words? Napoleon tells us what follows, and is perfection. Nature is perfect, just as like the moon follows the sun, just as like water is into the sea, and just like trees grow from the land, nature is perfect. And this process will go on for the rest of the time. I like to resemble, do you remember like when you were in a really tough situation and suddenly you got force from you don't know where, but you got a really nice force or wisdom or power to pull this through. Excuse me? Wow. That's a so big deal. Yes. Wow. So, yes, they are telling us, our dear architects, that a woman had so much of a power to lift a car by herself to save a dog, which he really loved, right? Yes. And do you know how Napoleon calls that? The invisible guides. There's something we don't know much about nature that we don't know in scientific terms yet, but there's something perfect about life. And in the moment that we start applying all these steps to our daily lives, you know what will happen? It will happen that we will get our invisible guides. And these guides will tell us, okay, you have to do this. 7 sense, inspiration, feeling of being compromised. Catch this opportunity. Go. Don't hesitate. You have to do that, you have to do that, you have to do that. And suddenly, we are in position of our dream. Wow. What is this? The invisible guides. The sixth sense, which is the responsible of guiding us to two main things, which we're going to discover later. In the moment we have a burning desire, I discover what's my burning desire, and then I base this into faith by practicing it by self-suggestion. Then it happens that I got a specialized knowledge which will be used for the sake of my burning desire. Then I will start developing my creative imagination, which will unfold into contact with the intelligence of the infinite, will give us ideas and plans. Okay, we have to make something with these ideas and plans. We have to make a product, a service to offer to the world, to make this money. And that's the purpose of the Mastermind Alliance. Work in harmony with volunteers for the same purpose. Then we'll have to carry decision in order to take these opportunities. Sweep all failure and hesitation. And then we'll like to get a hold of the persistence. So, it was raining literally just a little time ago. And we don't mind. We'll get through the rain even though we'll have to dive into this willing to achieve it. Just as Samuel Adams John Hancock, the Generally, and our dear Thomas Jefferson. Then we'll get to the 6 power of the 1000 batteries, which are the brains all combined into one purpose and make a special source of energy. The biggest one. Then we'll like to, and we must try this sex transmutation. Awesome field to be productive as for humanity and as for me, for my family, for my loved ones. I will be an away person, right? I will make sweet things, heartwarming things. This person is highly sexualized, and therefore he's making all. He's giving him best, her best. He's a sweetheart, she's a sweetheart. So kind. Then we'll get a hold of the subconscious, because this will be the bridge in which we will receive our ideas and plans, and we'll like to control our positive emotions, right? I have hope, I have faith, I have love. Wow, I'm really distant from you, but I feel like you're beside me, and I'm taking good actions, opportunity, decisions. I'm getting brighter and brighter. Then we'll talk about the brain, which is the transmitter and the receptive device. And this will lead us to connect with people, right? Like all of you. Very nice. I'm looking at your eyes, in your eyes. Awesome. And we'll get nice relationships which will guide us towards our burning desire. And the last one, but not least, the sixth sense is the one that we win thanks to having applied all this. And the sixth sense is the responsible for making women and men rich and happy. When we reach the sixth sense, we'll know how nature works. We'll understand what's the meaning of our lives. We'll understand why we are here right now. And therefore, we'll flow. Just as like the river. Isn't this beautiful? Sure it is. Here we have it. Our skin will written down, and here we have our palace, right? And we're looking something else. Napoleon's state about this is that, okay, we have the tools, right? They're architects, constructors. Nevertheless, we will go through hard times, but that's not an excuse, actually. What's the thing that could block us from our way to success? I'm shaking. Fear. Right. Fear. So, let's look at this. I won't have fear ever, ever. Ever, never. Never, ever. I won't have fear, never, ever. I won't have fear never ever again. Nice. Because fear is a state of the mind, just as faith, as love. Okay, so Napoleon divides fear into 7, better called the 7 deadly fears. The first one, fear to poverty. Okay, so Napoleon tells us that poverty is so a shame situation, so disgraceful, so anguishing, so horrible, that every man in this world, every woman in this world is so thirsty, so eager to be rich, to having money, power, that they could kill or die for it. And that's the level of this fear. We're so afraid of being poor that we will kill, die for money. And this might be reflected on the masterpieces of some really wise authors and also singers. Money. Money is devil, right? Thanks to this fear we can understand it. Then how can we block this? Here we have the tools. We'll get the money sooner or later, but the money is just a result. The money is a result of my services, of my purpose, of my burning desire. What's our second deadly fear? That is fear to losing love. That love losing fear. And it's the most dangerous of our times. Why? Because the people who don't yet understand what is love will be wandering all around for love and being real afraid of losing this love. Lies, being not loyal to the other person, those are symptoms and consequences of being afraid of losing love. But if we understand, if we comprehend what is love, then this will vanish away. Just like that. The third fear, really deadly, and is the fear to be criticized. What do we ever feel? Fear about being criticized. It's just a state of the mind. rather than worrying about what the other people could say about us, we will focus on our tasks, just as we are doing right here in this laboratory experimentation. We don't mind the opinions. We will take it and analyze it later, but we don't mind the opinions. I mind my burning desire for my sake and humanity. So we don't have to ever have fear of people. And most important, people have fear of us as well, because this is a general human condition. So there's nothing to worry about, actually. The fourth deadly fear is called the getting old fear. So what does getting old mean for you? Of course, we are lacking health, we are not being productive as our prime, right? We are even losing sexual energy. So old people could be worried about, oh, I would be destroyed by this youthness, they won't care about me, I will be just a piece of garbage, right? But the most precious treasure out from being old is wisdom, which cannot be acquired in any stage of life rather than in the one that we're old. The sixth deadly fear is the one of illness. We are afraid to be ill because we are afraid of what we're going to say right away. How do we create, or how are illnesses experienced or being generated in our bodies? Just because we imagine them. Hypochondria, this horrible illness, disease, which has its growth on the brain. The more we worry about health, the more we will be unhealthy. So we like to focus on eating nice, having nice nutrition, going to the park, making exercise, right? Dancing. That's it. And why do we have this fear to being healthy? My dear architects, constructors. Well, that's awesome. Okay, you know that. Nice. The fear to death. And this is the grand one deadly fear. Why are we afraid about death? Because it's something unknown. And as human beings, we tend to like to know everything. But death is unknown. So, what to do? I'm afraid about dying because maybe I will go to hell, I will go to the land of confusion, I don't know. Therefore, we like to be in good shape, in good healthy, so that we don't die. That's why these two fears are combined and make the most destructive combo. Napoleon tells us what follows about death. What is death for Napoleon Hill? It's a beautiful eternal dream which I will never wake up from. Therefore, we might like to think that death is nothing more else but an eternal flame that is fading away. Nothing to worry about. Right? Well together. And what's the seventh deadly fear? And it's called the devil's workshop. This is the negative influence we could receive from other people. And how can we dodge these negative influences? Just focusing on our positive emotions, our burning desire, our faith, our loved ones, our nice state of mind. This is practice. Because surely when we go and hit the road, there will be lots of negative influences. But we are wiser than that. And we'll focus on the good, the noble things. And that's how we overcome these fears. It's not going to be easy. Every human being on this earth is so frightened I'm so frightened as well. I can't even express it. But we are brave and we like to try something new. That's why we expose these fears. And the only fact of being aware of this puts us in our highest position. So, we're going to conclude this. Let's go and write down. We're going to set our fears victory. Fears surpassed. A plus or intelligent. Okay. What would we like to say about this whole adventure? Wow. Long time. It was so emotional as for me. How do you feel right now? Wow. Thank you for your opinions. Thank you for your feelings, sensations. Awesome. Awesome as well. I like your smile. I like your smile. So, to end this, I like to ask you, what does being rich mean? Okay. I like your replies. And they fit mine as well. Being rich means having a burning desire which is based in faith. Therefore, I will discover a new emotion. Being rich is getting a hold of self-suggestion, which is the brain power. Being rich is having a special knowledge in order to achieve my burning desire. Being rich is having a mastermind alliance, knowing people, having friends, having acquaintances, relating myself in harmony. Being rich is being created by my creative imagination. I'm getting ideas, plans. I'm feeling alive. What else? Is to get a hold of the two success siblings, which are persistence and decision. Mahoma, John Hancock, Samuel Adams. I'm brave. Being rich is having the power of 1,000 batteries sooner or later. Coca-Cola, Apple, UNICEF, United Nations. Being rich is be wise enough to know that sexual energy is the best, the most powerful, and therefore I can use it for the sake of humanity. Higher motivations. Being rich is knowing and understanding what is the subconscious part of our human condition, and therefore using it to having a response from the infinite intelligence. And being rich is to have a healthy brain which I can send vibes to other brains in order to gather and achieve our burning desire. And being rich is having all this brain compounders that we will be amplified thanks to them. And being rich is having the privilege of feeling the sixth sense, these guides that will guide us towards our life, our purpose, our success. And finally, to be rich is to be aware of fears and eventually defeating them. That is being rich. I can tell, right? Let's write our final statement to conclude this. We're going to write something really curious. It's going to be a question. How much money will I get in 5 years? Alright? Let's write down our answers. Alright. Oh, I see the dollars sign on your eyes. Just sparkling like this. Great. I like that. Okay. So, as for being rich, we like to read this statement over and over again every day. I like to have this much of money by the end of 5 years or 1 year or whatever you want. By making this plan, so I will offer this service, this product, I will gather with these people, I'm going to be constructing this bit by bit, step by step, slowly, R. And every day we'll read this statement. I will have this money, I will imagine myself, self-suggest myself in possess of this money. And as the time passes, we're going to be richer and richer. So, shall we take a look at our creation today? Right here, we have our palace. You made this palace by your own. You made this palace by your means. So, let's clap. Congratulations for constructing your life palace. Okay? This is awesome. Great. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of us. Let's take a closer look at our palace. Here's our today's palace. We have all the tools we need in order to be millionaire. So, what's the conclusion of this? Being millionaire, as for Napoleon Hill, means what follows. This is in the center, in the inside. Let's go from the inside to the out. We have all our tools, desire, mastermind island, sex, and on the outside, we have money. Money on the outside. In the inside, we have love. So what does this mean? That money is a perfect result of all the steps that we apply to our lives. Money is just a consequence. As long as we have a burning desire, faith, being kind, have sex orientation, do things for the sake of humanity, having a plan, effort myself, being brave, not being fear of myself and my limitations, then I will have the right to be millionaire. As for money, just by following these steps. And I like to read a quote to go and start being rich. And it says what follows. Remember that your richness is not measured by what you have, but by what you are. And here's the proof. Thank you very much for being here, and let's let's open that door in order to be millionaire, okay? Let's give an applause to Napoleon as well, to all of us. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Really appreciate and really proud of us. So, let's start being millionaire just by crossing this door. Are you ready? Let's go. Just by crossing this door. Al revés. Quanto fail. Ok. Buenísimo. Nice.
So